breaking out, I'm breaking in. I just can't help this state I'm in. I'm on my way, y'all. So put your shades on, this light's so bright, it's blinding. I'm radiating love, I'm radiating love, I'm radiating love. Breaking free, I'm breaking ground. I can't explain this thing I found. The clouds have moved on. I got my groove on. This pep in my steps infectious. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love. I've been stuck in a rut. I've been shit out of luck. I've been wondering what is up with me. And then I realize it's up to me to decide. I can just be radiating love. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love. Radiating love, radiating love, radiating love, radiating love.
You are an irresistible magnet with the power to attract unto yourself everything that you desire. Absolutely everything you desire. Sometimes it takes a little time, but it's there. It's there and it's available to you right here, right now. Welcome everyone, I'm Reverend Jay Willick. I'm the Senior Minister here at the New Thought Spiritual Center, and that's where you are, watching our Sunday celebration. We're going to bring you some joy, some happiness. We're going to bring you some music, some inspiration, some words of wisdom, everything to give you the tools to move forward into your greatest life, your most abundant and prosperous life in all levels of your experience, in your body, in your bank account, in your love life, everywhere, your creative life, your work life, everywhere. We give you the tools, the mental tools, the goal tools, everything that you will require. So welcome. So let's start in right away with why we're here, why the New Thought Spiritual Center showed up, why this banner is here with me right now, and we'll watch this video. Here we go. Our 2020 theme is perception, and the theme for August is consecrated. The universal creative force within. Our vision is to vibrate at the speed of the divine, experiencing our best self by being a clear, luminous, and dynamic force for good, with love always being the answer. And our mission, to use the principles and tools of the science of mind and spirit, new thought, neuroscience, and ancient wisdom to bust through, soar, and zoom into our greatest life, sharing that gift with all. Yeah, that's why we're here. We're here to do all three of those things. Now, you might not have heard because the sound got a little wonky. Our purpose, which we are showing here on our banner of the month, is to reveal the divinity in you. That's why we're here. That is the largest purpose, the only purpose, actually, for the New Thought Spiritual Center. It's probably the largest the largest purpose for you. And that is to reveal the divinity that's already there. It's already within you. We tend to just kind of ignore it, not use it for our best life, because stuff gets in our way. We allow stuff to get in our way. Some things are yelling louder. But when we reveal the divinity that is already there, when we use the science of mind tools, the spiritual tools of all philosophies, actually, and the tools found in neuroscience and other sciences, we reveal that divinity. We use these tools to open ourselves up to our greatest life. So now I'm going to step right away into our sacred moment from this point forward in our service. So I'm going to ring the bell. And today we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to ring the bell and we're going to go straight into some spiritual mind treatment. And once we get through the spiritual mind treatment, then we will go into our guided meditation. And today's guided meditation will be read from this book, again, the Radiance Sutras, which is translated there by Lauren Roche. And great stuff in here. We'll also later be reading out of the Science of Mind textbook, as they say, when we get to our sacred reading, and talk about our affirmative incantation. So we're going to do all of that right now. Are you ready? Here we go. Let me ring the bell. As the bell continues its reverberation throughout the universe, let us close our eyes if it's comfortable for you and know this place of life. There's one mind. That mind is God's mind. That mind is the universe's mind, Spirit's mind, the great Spirit, whatever you want to call it. That mind is our mind. We individualize that mind right here and right now. So as we breathe slowly in, we know that we consecrate our lives to this divinity that is within each and every one of us, bringing forth the power, the presence, the inspiration, the knowledge, the abundance, the light, the wisdom of this universal creative mind, this universal creative presence that is here and now. We're grateful for this knowing, grateful for this being, grateful for living this great life that we now claim and know and feel and imagine and be. With this, I release my word, knowing it goes into a law that says, yes, I hear you, yes. As together we say, and so it is. Go ahead and keep your eyes closed or put them to a soft focus if your eyes have been open. In the soft focus, you can see as DJ Steve calls it, the spirograph, the moving mandala. And keep your eyes on that if you'd like. Listen to the entrainment music that is going on softly behind me. And let's take a deep breath together. Let it out through our mouths. Let's do it again, and this time hold it a little bit. 3, 2, 1, and let it out. Now go ahead and breathe normally. And then, after I do this explanation, we're going to do something new. In my newsletter this week, I talked about the mindful yawn. So together we're going to take a mindful yawn. Now that means you are faking a yawn. But in this as if yawn, you are awakening biochemical things going on in your brain and thus throughout your body. It is another way of centering ourselves. So go ahead, take a mindful yawn. You ready? Let's go. It might feel weird a little bit at first, but go ahead. Let's do it again. If you haven't put your feet on the floor, please do so, or go ahead and cross your legs. Put your hands open onto your thighs, or possibly put one hand on your heart. Because we're going to talk about some healing. We're going to bring some healing thoughts to those out there that need it, or maybe to those of us that need it. Either way, feel your body connected to the ground or to the chair you're within that is upon the ground. Knowing that the energy of the Mother Gaia from the planet Earth is coming up through your feet, up your legs, to that point that is at the bottom of your spine. And then allow that energy to flow back down a grounding cord of any sort back to the earth. And feel that reciprocal action of energy. Down your spine into the earth, up through your feet, back to the bottom of your spine. A circle of love and power. And then allow that energy from the cosmos, the energy from the universe, come down from the sky, which is actually around us. And yes, it mainly comes down through the top of your head, but allow it to enfold you like the rays of the sun. Allow it to energize you. Feel the vibration of this divinity, this power. It's a creative power. It is your power. And breathe. From the Radiance Sutras, we read, abandon all these attitudes of wanting to prolong pleasure and avoid suffering. Let the heart be itself and feel whatever is there. Freed from clinging and avoiding, the heart regains its poise and revels in creation. Plunging deep into its center, discover that the heart is moved by a pulse that is everywhere. And at this moment, we take a pause during this guided meditation to step into a healing treatment, a healing prayer, a healing knowing, as we allow all these energies from the earth and the cosmos, the power of love from the light of the universe to vibrate the frequencies of our body. Let us know that we send healing light to all those who require it right now. We attach a name, an idea, an organization into our heart, knowing that the light, the love, the wisdom, the peace of mind from the universe comes down into the heart, into the life, into the body of that person, that idea, that organization we have placed into our heart at this moment. Say its name into your heart, say it aloud, say it both ways. For we know that the healing light of God, of the divine, of the Great Spirit, the healing power and energy of the Big Bang, the singularity that began all that is, brings comfort to that name, that idea, that person, that organization we speak into our heart. And at this moment, I especially name those who are in the middle of these fires here in California, and our firefighters who are our first responders in these deluges of fire, knowing that healing comes to them, that the knowledge, the water, the cool air, all that is required for the healing of the land, of the people, of the first responders comes to them right now. I too now especially mention those in the southeast, ravaged by hurricane winds, rains, flooding, fears that are going through them right here, right now, damage that is happening around them or to them. There's healing. There's a peace of mind that is occurring within any other feelings that they're having right now. There is a peaceful mind inching its way in to heal them and their situation, to heal the conditions, to free them from the floods, and making their way to rebuilding their lives with ease. I also bring this healing energy to the friends, relatives, loved ones, beloveds of Terry Taylor, who moved forward on his journey on this planet to his next incarnation, his next incarnation of life, to wherever he desires to lead on his next adventure. I bring a healing energy and a peace and a love to all of those remembering Terry on this first Sunday. We breathe in and bring in this healing power right here, right now. Name the name. Name the idea. Name the organization. And breathe. In this healing light and idea, let me continue into our guided meditation. Hear the sounds of the white noise in your home. Maybe the refrigerator is rumbling, the air conditioner is going, maybe there's children playing outside your room. Allow those to become part of your meditation, for they are all part of this universe. and we may be calm. In the chaos, we may be a cosmos in the chaos. For holiness permeates everywhere. Even though senses cannot grasp it at times, images cannot represent it at times, even in the finest of arts and imagination. It is totally free, free to appear as form, free to be beyond form. Heart and body and mind in unison. Attend to the unimaginable. In the intercourse of unknowable and known, an awakening will be born in you as you join with that reality which you already are. Breathe deep. And listen. Listen to the beating of your heart. The breathing in of spirit. And now let's wiggle our toes, wiggle our fingers. Make our shoulders go around. Take a stretch. A deep breath. A yawn, a mindful yawn. And slowly open your eyes. Join me back into the sacred land of the New Thought Spiritual Center, coming to you through Facebook Live, through YouTube Live. Welcome back. Well, this is the fifth Sunday of the month, a fifth Sunday of a month. And on the fifth Sunday, I pull out my fancy leather-bound, gold-plated Science of Mind book by Ernest Holmes. This is the book I've studied. This is the book that is used in the philosophy of religious science. This spiritual center goes beyond that. As Ernest Holmes said, always be open at the top. And if anything, this is just a reference, because life, knowledge, and philosophy will move forward from when he wrote this and many others of his books. So we speak of Ernest Holmes now and again. I will speak of him a little bit in the talk today. But on the fifth Sunday, when there's a fifth Sunday, I'd like to pull something out of here, some little bits of wisdom. And usually when we're in person, I have people call out a page or a paragraph number, and then I flip to it and read it and talk about it a little bit. I don't pre-plan. So for today, let's use today's dates. It is, here better yet, even more random. What is the time? The time is 10:24. So let us go to page 102. 102. Ooh, that's pretty early in the book. This is if you don't know this book, this is quite a large book. It is this version without the definitions or the index. It is 646 pages with, and mine's a concordance, so it has all kinds of other things, but it's like 700 pages long. So here we are on page 102, and we're going to go to the fourth paragraph because it was 1024. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, which goes on to the next page. This is in the chapter called Body, and the subchapter called Unity and Multiplicity. And the paragraph we are going to read is this. Could we understand absolute causation, we should perceive it to be pure intelligence operating through perfect law and producing effects which live and have their being, not by virtue of an isolated life, but by reason of a universal unity which permeates all things. We should then see that the world of multiplicity is deep-rooted in a universe of unity, that nothing happens by chance, that we live under a government of law, from the vast planetary system to a garden of roses, from the archangel, the Christ consciousness he speaks of, to the saint and the sinner, through good and in what is called evil. Through cosmic activities and in human destinies, we behold the vast objective panorama of invisible but adequate subjective causes. Unity and multiplicity. And I'm going to actually speak a little bit about this in the talk today. But what he's talking about here is, and I've spoken about this this month, I think, last month especially, unity and multiplicity. There is unity in the multiplicity of life. And the multiplicity is described as Jay, as Steve, who's pressing the buttons for the broadcast today, as all of you in your individualizations of this power that we are all a part of. That is the multiplicity of it all. Also, the multiplicity is what we call the positive or the negative experiences of life. That is a multiplicity. But even all of that, and of course we get to define what positive or negative means, what good or bad means, what even the word evil might mean, even though evil is not really an entity. It's an energy that we allow to reveal into our lives, whether it's out of fear or some sort of belief that we have. But in this multiplicity of people, and not just people, of different plants and different animals, in the multiplicity of experiences that happen, some called positive, some called negative, there is a unity. And that unity, which expresses itself in our experiences, in the experiences of the universe, as well as on this planet, this unity brings it all together into an existence, into an experience, into a life, into an adventure. And it doesn't go away when we are no longer using this meat puppet, as somebody described, I heard this week, in this vehicle that we are living in now. It doesn't go away. It changes. It becomes part of the multiplicity in a different way. But it is unified in the divinity that we are all a part of, in the universe, in the energy, into that Big Bang. That Big Bang is still happening. The expansion of the universe is still occurring. And we are a part of that. So the multiplicity of all things going on at the same time is God's stuff. That's what he's talking about. We are all God's stuff. Or as they would say in cosmetology, we are all a part of the star stuff. And nothing can change that. Not even death. Not even fire. Not even a pandemic or the virus that is a part of that. Nothing can change that. And that is something that we can hold on to and go back to constantly. But now I'm starting to get into my talk. So I'll stop there and let's get into our affirmation. We don't call it that anymore. Our affirmative incantation. And for those of you who might be new to the New Thought Spiritual Center, the reason I have changed affirmation to affirmative incantations is because an incantation, now you might know the word incantation as something magical, or you might equate it to something sort of Wiccan or something like that. An incantation is specifically something that is said, believed, felt, that makes the seemingly impossible possible. There's many of us who believe that a healthy life in our body is not possible for them anymore. The doctors say this, and that. My DNA from my family says this, and that. And so it is impossible for me to be healthy. I say to that, BS. Bullpucky, as one of my uncles used to say. The seemingly impossible can be made possible. That includes health, that includes love in your life, that includes money in your life, that includes a more creative workspace in your life, that includes the advancement of our world through this pandemic. It's part of all of that. So an incantation is a word or a phrase or a prayer or a bunch of words, as this would be, that puts into our system, our divine matrix, the idea, the frequency, the mental equivalent to make what is seemingly impossible possible. And of course, it's affirmative. So we call it an affirmative incantation. So Steve, could you put that up for me? And let me read that together. I am part of a community that celebrates diversity in the world, fosters the inclusion of everyone, champions the inner work and journey of any body, and creates space for brave, vulnerable conversations. Honoring the unique emanation of divinity that each person embodies, I advocate for human rights and dignity for all. Understanding that oneness is not about sameness or otherness. I know it is revealed when we love each other well, get into good trouble when we must together, and consecrate this beloved community at all times with peace, prosperity, and ease. I remain an active learner and a listener so that we can all grow together. I bless all people in their holy journey to bust through, soar, and zoom into their greatest life. Now, this is something that I want you, and it's written in the newsletter that comes out on Thursdays or Fridays. It's written on the top of this Facebook Live page. And I want you every day, in the morning, after you wake up, before you really get into anything, and in the evening, before you fall asleep, I want you to read that and speak it aloud with feeling. That's part of the reason I make them multi-sentences, multi-paragraphs, because I want you to get into it. And I feel like one sentence ideas don't get you into it, but a story does. And these are stories to place into our lives. Every day for the next week, join me in this affirmative incantation. So right now, let's close our eyes together. Take a deep breath or a great yawn. and know that there is one mind, but there is a multiplicity of minds within that one mind. It is the ocean in the wave. It is the drop in the ocean. It is all those things simultaneous. The microcosm in the macrocosm in the microcosm, all alive, all living, all being at the same time in unity. We unify ourselves with this. We unify our multiplicity parts with this one mind. The mind of God, the mind of the divine, the mind of the Buddha, the mind that philosophized through so many ancient and modern mystics. This mind is our mind. And we step into this unity as a multiplicity with peace on our minds. We step into this unity in our multiplicity with love on our minds. We step into it with abundance of prosperity in our minds, with healed bodies in our minds, with the light and love and grace of the universe, and the power and creativity and inspiration of the universe in our minds. And from our minds through our hearts, and from our gut through our hearts and minds, manifesting into our lives at this very moment the best that there is, the best that there has been, the best of all. Peace, love, harmony, wisdom, beauty, power. It is all here right now in our multiplicity, seated squarely in the unity of life. I'm grateful for these words. I am grateful for this communion, this unity of all, this oneness, this beingness of light. As together we say, and so it is. I have some great music for you. Many of you may know the name Solomon Burke. His son, Solomon Burke Jr., is a friend of mine, and he has performed at the New Thought Spiritual Center. Well, today we're going to see some music from a concert that our friend Solomon Burke Jr.'s father, Solomon Burke, performed. It's a great song, and let's just play it now. Go ahead, Steve.
Stays in my heart and in my mind. I want to dedicate it to you tonight. Would you sing with me if you know the song? Come on. I shook the hands of presidents, blessed by the Pope in Rome. I've been to parties where I've had to be flown. They say everything was safe, nothing was but fake, and money was something that you throw off the back of train. Oh, always keep it down in your mind. Always keep it down in your mind. And no matter where you wander, no matter where you're going, always keep it down in your mind. Steaming the breeze like a little fried pearl, floating on the necklace of a beautiful girl. Now Jonah says that for the food and the land, and oh, so ever grateful for God so mighty. Oh, always keep it down in your mind. Come on, children. Always keep it down in your mind. humankind. Sometimes the fat of a lamb, she can lay there like a baby, or she can drive like a man. She lives outside of natural, and she operates a train. She's like a wrecking ball, no longer connected to a chain. Whoa, Jerry Alexander said she almost never prayed till she lost her right arm, blown up in a pickup and rain, and they latched her to a windmill with all 3 fingers dead. Now she's 102, drinking the juice, the shade. Oh, always feel that in your mind. Always keep a dime in your mind. And no matter where you walk, no matter where you roam, always keep a dime. One more time, come on. Always keep a dime in your mind. Everybody, come on. Always keep a dime in your mind. And no matter where you wander, no matter where you go, always keep a diamond in your
To manifest stuff into our lives, my friends, we dedicate our thoughts and feelings about our desires into the universe. And then we lubricate the movement of these thoughts and feelings, this dedicated thoughts and feelings, from desire into acquire by using the energy of faith and belief. Now, this energy is found in the holistic use of the divine matrix, the mind, the heart, the gut, and everything in between. The bioelectric mechanics of the brain is part of it, as Dr. Joe Dispenza describes it. Thoughts cause biochemical reactions in your brain that release chemical signals which make your body feel a certain way depending on your thoughts. And those feelings cause you to generate more thoughts that produce the same feelings and thus the same bodily reactions. And simultaneously, because of all that is happening in your mind and body, it makes the mental equivalent occur in your consciousness, that frequency that the universe reads to bring it into form. And also, the energy centers of the body, including, like I said, the heart and the gut, come into play as well. Because all of that has their own minds, you might say, going, its own neurological synapses happening and speaking to each other, stimulating the endocrine system, which is that collection of glands that produces hormones and regulates our metabolism, our sleep, our mood, that inspires our imagination, that makes our body sizzle with the revelation of the divinity that is within us, vibrating at that speed. This month, we've been talking about living a consecrated life. And living a consecrated life prepares us to lock into that frequency that Einstein and Tesla always talk about, that everything is frequency and everything is energy. And when we lock into that frequency through the energy that we are, we manifest things into our lives. We manifest experiences into our lives. And we do that by, one, communing with nature and the divine presence, which, depending on your definition, is one and the same. God is the source of all that is and is all that is. And you can call it whatever you want. I'm just using the word God. The term matters not. And everything in the universe is made of that God stuff. And we each are a unique, individualized expression of that God stuff. We are a multiplicity in the unity, you might say. And in this oneness, in this community, in this multiplicity, we each share our time, talent, and treasure in life. Number two, taking heed to the constant call of the divine urge. That's another way to be living a consecrated life. Listening for those subtle universal cues, those red flags sometimes. And using the idea, the query of, is this a constructive idea or a destructive idea? To decide, to determine if it's coming from our ego, meaning edging God out, that ego that's all about me, and nobody else. That ego that is full of fear and lack and limitation. Or is it from our higher self, which is more constructive ideas that come into our mind and our heart through our gut? And number three, to live a consecrated life, you dedicate your most sacred self to living the high life. Or better said, the highest life. Not the high life as in partying and fashionable clothing and bling and all that stuff, but the highest life. Ernest Holmes said the ultimate goal of life is complete emancipation from all discord in every nature. Complete emancipation from all discord in every nature. Now, this discord could be large, could be small. This discord may affect us directly or may affect us indirectly, but our how we deal with that comes through how consecrated our life is. By nourishing ourselves with healthful food, positive, loving, prosperous ideas, thoughts, and feelings, by taking wise, bold, and optimized strategies of action, by quieting the chattering mind, and everybody, I do too, has chattering minds. And when those show up with destructive ideas in that chattering mind, that whirling dervish, that monkey mind, we step up to it with thankful attention, thankful that it showed up. We don't need to be mad at the chattering mind. Be thankful that it showed up. Give it attention. And while you're giving it attention and thanking it, also question it. Push it back. Why are you here? What are you trying to tell me? Thanks for coming, but what are you trying to tell me? I'm not going to allow you to take things over. I just want to know what you're trying to tell me, and I will deal with it. It's a self-parenting kind of thing. Also, laughing and loving. A life daily of laughing and loving is a consecrated life. Clearing the corrosion of the mind, especially when monkey mind is a little too prevalent, which happens sometimes. We clear the corrosion of that monkey mind and we heal the ego-driven thoughts that step in, that come back up from the past and all this other unresolved stuff that shows up. We clear that with meditation of one sort or another. There's many types of meditation. We live a consecrated life by actively being in the flow of universal abundance through affirmative prayer or spiritual mind treatment. That affirmative prayer that knows that there is a one mind, there is a universal consciousness, a power, a light that we are a part of. And when we declare and reveal what it is we have decided we are requiring to show up in our lives, when we do that with gratitude, releasing this powerful word that we speak, either through our mouths, just in our minds, or both, we release it to a law of cause and effect that says, yes, okay, I will take this idea and I will do what it needs to do. I will do the how to bring it into our lives. That's what affirmative prayer does. We live a consecrated life by filling our consciousness with healthy and wise readings, especially before going to sleep, especially when we first wake up. Our minds are so open and ready, even right before you go to sleep, because this tiredness that you have actually opens up your mind a little bit, allows what you enter into it before you fall to sleep to float around during the sleeping time. And when you wake up, your mind is just open. You may not be awake. I understand the idea of you don't feel awake, but your mind is open and ready to receive still, because you've just come out of that fully open sleep REM situation. So that's a great time to fill it with healthy and wise readings, or being here when you're awake. Don't come here when you're asleep. I may not be here. Practicing radical forgiveness. There's another way to consecrate your life. Practicing radical forgiveness to all, for all, especially yourself. Or as Dr. Walker used to say, get over it, Blanche. You know, when we don't forgive, that doesn't mean we necessarily forget or condone. But when we don't forgive, the person who really gets the negative energy from that is you, is me. And finally, getting our butts in nature, getting our toes in the sand, getting our feet, bare feet, touching Mother Earth. That's a way to consecrate our lives. All of these things. Now, you may come back to me with, well, what about with what's going on now? What's happening now? How am I going to do that? This is a time of crisis, there's stress, there's trauma. My world is upside down like a cyclone. I get it. I understand it. Let me read you something from the Science of Mind book. As human beings, we have free will and can choose how we relate to what we experience. We can choose how we relate to what we experience, whether it be positive or negative. The same principle that brings us freedom, prosperity, and joy also allows us to experience bondage, lack, or misery according to our consciousness. There are many people who have wonderful, prosperous lives financially, but have miserable lives beyond that. For many reasons, but part of it is how they're relating to this grand, abundant experience of financial prosperity. So financial prosperity can be positive or negative. So too, what happens to us during this pandemic, what happens to us in any trauma or stress, big or small. It's how we relate to what we experience. It's reminding me of an old religious tune. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Now, like I've said before, it's not talking about a wretched person. A wretch like me is not I'm a wretched person, but a person that has wretched thoughts about wretched conditions that are going on, how I am relating to the conditions going on. That's what a wretch like me means. An amazing grace is when, even on special occasions like now, like what's going on in the world right now, that living this high life, living this highest life is essential. To never compromise the divine principle. As the Tom Waits song says, wherever you may wander, wherever you may roam, always keep a diamond in your mind. A diamond mind is actually a Buddhist concept. And there's a woman whose name actually is Mila Diamond. And she wrote, "We all have a seat of diamond mind, a state of heightened clarity, alertness, and complete congruity. When you are in the state of diamond mind, you find yourself in the right place at the right time with the right people, in noticing the right opportunities and finding genius solutions. The right path unfolds before you. You feel empowered like a perfectly cut diamond. It is luminous and strong." As co-creators in this universe, which is what we are doing, we are co-creating our experiences with the universe, with the power of the law of cause and effects. What we deeply believe and what we claim for ourselves and for the world has impact on ourselves and the world. As Ernest Holmes says, it seems to me that it is only as we view all life, everything from what we call great to what we call small, important, or unimportant, it is only as we view the whole thing as one stupendous whole, whose body nature is with God the soul, that we shall really enter into communion, into sympathetic oneness and rapport with the reality of all that is about us. When we step into the multiplicity of the unity, when we step into the unity of the multiplicity, then we learn keeping that diamond in our mind. No matter what is in front of us, we learn to continue to relate to what is going on from the highest point in our consciousness. We remember our own worth, what we are, who we are, and our value. We steel our minds against the onslaught, no matter how dire the circumstance, because we have a diamond in our mind, that little spark that we allow to reveal at all times, no matter the circumstances, so that we can treasure this thing called life by always having that diamond in our mind and always relating to whatever circumstances are going on through that diamond in our mind. Angel Kyoto Williams, a Zen priest, wrote, "Without inner change, there can be no outer change. Without collective change, no change matters." The collective, meaning the consciousness of everybody as a multiplicity. The multiplicity consciousness grows as the individual consciousness grows. So again, to lubricate the way to revealing our divinity, vibrating at the speed of the divine and busting through to soar and zoom into the best time of our lives, no matter the condition, let us have that diamond in our mind. Let us have a baptism, so to speak, of words and feelings. Let us take vows of consecration, like the Buddhists take vows. Let us take vows of consecration. Let us baptize ourselves with the words and the feelings of knowing who and what we are, where we come from. These promises, these words, these rituals we may do speak to a perfect aligning with the unity in the multiplicity, the universe, the God, the Spirit, the divine presence. And you know, those who are baptized or are baptizing themselves, you still may have doubts. Those who are taking vows like the Buddhists, you still may have a hard time resisting suffering. These aren't one and done magic tricks. I know we like to talk about the power and presence of spiritual mind treatment and of our consciousness. You know, stuff is going on, and it may take more than one time. It could take just one time, one thought, one spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer, one ritual vow. but it may take more. It may take several. But there's always that diamond in the mind. There's always that divinity there ready to be revealed. We are meant to return to these vows. We are meant to return to these ideas, this consciousness, this with the diamond in our mind as a way of life. It's part of our journey. We don't go back. We always go forward. I found this great Episcopal priest, her writings. I've ordered a book of hers because I so enjoyed some of her writings that I've seen. And she's written dozens of books. Her name is Barbara Brown Taylor. I believe she lives in South Carolina right now. She's an Episcopal priest, professor, author, theologian, and was one of the 2014 Time Magazine most influential people in the world 100 list. And she wrote, anyone can ask and anyone can bless whether anyone has authorized you to do it or not. You don't need authorization because you automatically have it. All I am saying is that the world needs you to do this because there is a real shortage of people willing to kneel wherever they are and recognize the holiness. Holding its sometimes bony, often tender, always life-giving hand above their heads. That we are able to bless one another at all is evidence that we have been blessed, whether we can remember it or not. That we are willing to bless one another is miracle enough to stagger the very stars. Oh, isn't that great? We're all there. We're all blessed. We can get on our knees physically or metaphysically and know that we are already blessed to reveal the divinity at all times. At any time, anywhere, to be consecrated in our lives. There's always a glimmer of light available. Fill up your spiritual bank with constant, highest ideas. Because when you dedicate your thoughts and feelings to that which you desire, and lubricate the movement of these thoughts and feelings from desire to acquire by using the energy of faith and belief, by tapping into that diamond that is always in your mind, by remembering who you are, you will find yourself living a consecrated, happy, joyous, prosperous, healthy, creative, and loving life, no matter the circumstances. Thank you so much. Namaste. And we'd like to consecrate our lives here at the New Thought Spiritual Center at this time with our conscious giving, our tithing. Don't be afraid of that word. I know it's a biblical word. I know it tends to mean something scary to some people. It's just a word. Use that word. It does have meaning, but use that word through your heart. The rules are, the only rules are, is that you give from your heart. So now if you would place your love offering or your hand, if you'd like, since we're not passing around a bowl or anything like that. And let us repeat these words. Divine love consecrates my gift, goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. Not my job, not my pension. God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of this spiritual center, my spiritual center, the New Thought Spiritual Center, knowing that it returns to me. All that I give returns to me, multiplied abundantly. It is not a dead end. It comes back. It's like that boomerang that Florence Scovel Shinn talks about. It's a boomerang effect. As you give, so you receive. So you may wonder, those of you who are new to us, how do I do this? Well, there's several ways. Steve will put up our ways. You can go to the newthoughtspiritualcenter.org, which is our website, which has been cleaned up a little bit. And you can click on the donate button, which is up in the right-hand corner, and that will take you to PayPal. And you can use PayPal or you can use your credit card. So there you have that. And the other way is to go directly to PayPal. You can go to paypal.me/newthoughtsc. And that'll open to your PayPal account, and that will direct your donation, your love offering, to the New Thought Spiritual Center right away. You won't have to type anything else in there because it's all set up by using that link. Or if you have the Givelify app, go ahead and use that, and you can tap Give, you're done, and they'll get it to us. And of course, you could do it by snail mail. We get it, not to worry. We have a beautiful post box at our office, and that's the New Thought Spiritual Center, 4821 Lancashire Boulevard, number F133. That's our office, North Hollywood, California, 91601. And we thank you so much for supporting us, supporting yourself, and showing your love in this way. So, one more thing I want to talk about, and that is our social media. When you go on social media, like you're on today, you're on either Facebook at either the New Thought Spiritual Center page or my personal Jay Willick page, or you might be watching us on YouTube Live. Please subscribe, follow, like, put a comment in there. I'll see the comments later. Do all those things. It helps bring us to the forefront on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, and of course on Facebook. The New Thought Spiritual Center. They're all pretty much called the same, New Thought SC, or our channel on YouTube is the New Thought Spiritual Center. I want to thank you all, my beloveds, for coming this Sunday to enjoy our celebration. I want to thank Steve Apperson, DJ Steve, Steve Apicopola. I don't know, do you call yourself that? Apicopola. That's a good one. For pushing the buttons and making sure everything pops up when it needs to pop up. We are blessed to have Steve, and he'll be back next week. Not next week. Next month in September with a new song. Wasn't that a great new song that he wrote for us and for the world last week? Next week, Reverend Jamie Klein will be with us as our sacred reader, and join us next week, 10 a.m., Facebook Live and YouTube Live. We love having you, and drop us a line if you need some spiritual counseling or you need some spiritual mind treatment work. Please message me or send an email to the website or to me. Give us a call at our office, and we'll make sure that somebody connects with you to give you the counseling or the spiritual mind treatment to know the truth for you and with you. We are here to serve you, and here we are blessed by you. So let us step in with a deep breath or a mindful yawn. Oh, yeah. Close your eyes if it's comfortable for you. And know with me that we are unified in this multiplicity called life. We are unified in the great power of love, life, peace, beauty, power, wisdom, light, beauty. Oh, say it again. Say it over and over again. This wisdom that surrounds us. This creativity that surrounds us. It is a part of us. It is us. We are it. We are unified. And in this unification, we step into our joy. In this unification, we know that there is always, always, always a diamond in our mind, ready to spark, ready to reveal into our lives, into our minds, into our hearts, that divinity that is already there. With that diamond in our minds, we are ready to spark our relation to anything, positive or negative, that is happening in our lives. And we get to choose what positive or negative experiences mean. And we get to choose how to relate to them. It doesn't take away or change our happiness. It doesn't take away or change our sadness, except for the way we desire it to. We get to choose by using this diamond in our mind. Wherever we wander, wherever we roam, there is always, always a diamond in our mind to focus our life into love, peace, grace, ease, light. It is done right here and right now as I speak this moment. It is done. And I gratefully release these words, release this diamond in my mind, this diamond in your mind, to do its greatest, to do its most abundant, to do its most healthy and prosperous ideas into our lives, to do them. For we are being them right here and right now. What a glorious day. What a glorious thought. What a glorious idea. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sweet Spirit, for being my unity in my multiplicity right here, right now. As together we say, and so it is. Have a blessed, blessed week. Use that affirmative incantation to greatly bless your life this week. Thank you for joining us. We got a little more music from Solomon Burke as I say to you, namaste.
Here we go. Oh, for the ladies, just for the ladies tonight. It was down in the valley, come on. Valley so low. It was where I first held you tight. How could I ever let you go? I remember the first kiss. Oh, how you moved me so. Now all that I can feel right now is a cold wind blow. Down, 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 down. Valley so low. Honey, hang your head over. People hear the wind blow. Have you ever been lonely? Have you ever been sad? Did you ever really, really want someone that really needs the bad man? Got to go down, 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 valley so low. Honey, hang my head over. People hear the wind blow. Hit it down. Now put those hands together, everyone again. Let me hear you out there. I want you to have a good time tonight. You feel like dancing, get on up and dance. Come on. Shake it one time. Somebody got down in the valley so low. Have you ever been lonely? Or have you ever been sad? Did you ever really, really want someone that really needs the bad man? Got to go down, 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 valley so low. I hang my head over. People hear the wind blow. Down, down, in the valley so low. Honey, hang your head on. Baby, in the wind And tonight we're gonna try to do it right.